This video is part of a three-part series where we will go through year-end processing within ePayroll. In this first video, we'll cover key dates and responsibilities and ordering your payment summary, so how to actually process that order or put that order into the system. We'll also have a look at what you can do about terminated employees. So start off straight into it, key dates and responsibilities. What are your responsibilities? You need to ensure that your payment summaries reflect accurate and complete employer, employee and payment information. You must report any reportable fringe benefit amounts. You must provide payment summaries to your employees by the 14th of July. And you must report payment summary data to the tax office by the 14th of August. Now, we can help you fulfil your responsibilities in that regard. On the 15th of June, the Payment Summaries tab will become available on ePayroll. That tab will guide you through the four-step process that's required to produce your payment summaries within ePayroll. Step one is where you'll review the PAYG employer details report, so details about the company. At step two, you'll review the PAYG employee details report, so that one covers details of your employees. At step three, you'll be able to enter your reportable fringe benefits amounts if you've got any, and then you can review some reconciliation reports. Finally, at step four, you'll complete your order. At step four in the payment process, you'll be able to choose for ePayroll to produce your payment summaries for you. And if we do that, we'll produce your payment summaries electronically, and we can also print and post them to your employees directly if you would like. Your current employees will be able to access their payment summary online. Your terminated employees will also be able to access their payment summary online, and we will automatically submit your payment summary data electronically to the tax office on your behalf. There are charges for the payment summary production. If you'd like us to produce them electronically, and they'll be available online for individual employees, and you'll also get a PDF report containing all of them. That's $2.95 per payment summary. If you would like us to print those as well and post them directly to the employees, that's an additional $2.95 per payment summary for a total of $5.90 per payment summary. You can, of course, produce your own payment summaries manually if you would like to, but in that case, you'll need to distribute the payment summaries to your employees yourself, usually on paper and handwritten. Your employees won't be able to access their payment summary online, and you would need to submit payment summary details to the ATO yourself. In that case, if you choose to do those three things yourself, you'll not be charged any payment summary production fees. Now, there are limits to when you can order your payment summaries, in relation to how late you can order them, but as well as how early. You can't order your payment summaries until you've run your last payroll for the 2015 financial year. Your payment summaries will include any payrolls that have an accounting date that falls between 1 July 2014 and 30th of June 2015 inclusive. It should include any payments that are physically made between those two dates. And just so you know, you might need to adjust your accounting dates for your last payroll for the year to ensure that the accounting date falls in the same year that the payment is physically made. You also shouldn't order your payment summaries until you've checked and agreed with the details in the reports at step 1, step 2 and step 3 of the payment summary process. Regardless of whether we're producing your payment summaries or not, you'll need to complete your payment summary order form online by the 8th of July. We'll go into a little more depth on the ordering process now. The ordering process is broken down into 4 steps, as I pointed out earlier. Step 1 will review the employer details, step 2 the employee details, then we'll enter the fringe benefits and look at the reconciliation reports, and finally you'll let us know whether you want us to produce the payment summaries or not. To access the payment summaries tab, you'll need to click on the payment summaries link on the left-hand menu. That payment summaries menu item will become available on the 15th of June. Once you access that tab, you'll see that there's 4 steps that are outlined along the top of the screen in a very similar way to the payroll screen. There's a progress bar that shows you how far through the process you are, and to move between steps, there is a next button at the bottom right of the screen. So at step 1, we'll need to verify your employer details. You'll need to verify the name of the employer, address, phone and fax numbers, ABN, payment summary, signatory and industry code. It's easier to verify those details. Click on the link on that screen to the PAYG Employee Details Report. To access that link, as I said, click on the link. That'll bring up the PAYG Employer Details Report. You need to check all of the information on that report. You don't need to sign a copy of that report and send it to us. By moving to the next step, that'll confirm your acceptance that those details are correct. If you need to update any of the details on that form, such as the employer address, employer phone and fax numbers, or payment summary signatory, you'll need to go to the employer and then employer home screen from the menu on the left. For the employer name, ABN or industry code, if they're incorrect, you'll need to contact the ePayroll support team via email with the new details. At step 2, you'll need to verify the employee details. You'll need to check specifically the employee names, tax file numbers, addresses and start dates. Again, there's a report that makes that very easy. To access the report, click on the link there. That will bring up the PAYG Employee Details Report, confirm the start date, termination date, tax file number. There are some tax file numbers that are in there that the system will accept because they are generic tax file numbers approved by the tax office. But generally, every employee that's in there should have a valid tax file number. You need to confirm that the addresses are correct. They'll be reported to the tax office for each employee, and the tax office will update that on their records and use that for any correspondence with the employee. Make sure that the addresses don't contain any commas and that all addresses contain a state and postcode. Otherwise, we'll have trouble submitting that data through to the tax office. Any invalid addresses can be updated under the Employees tab. If you do update any details on either the employer details or the employee details reports, you'll need to regenerate the reports on your most recent payroll. That's where the reports on these screens pick up from. So after you make the changes, regenerate the reports, and then these reports will pick up the new details. At step 3, you'll need to enter any grossed up reportable fringe benefits. That's as easy as clicking the edit button next to the employee where you need to add those reportable fringe benefits. Entering the grossed up reportable fringe benefits into the field there, and then clicking the update button, and that'll add those reportable fringe benefits against that employee. At the bottom of step 3, you'll be able to access 2 reconciliation reports. The first one of those is a payment summary reconciliation report that essentially shows the figures that will be shown on your payment summaries for each employee. You need to make sure that all of your employees are included, that any reportable employer super contributions and grossed up reportable fringe benefits are shown, and look out for negative values because they can't be shown on a payment summary. You should reconcile the gross and tax amounts back to your GL and month-end payroll summary reports, and we'll look at those in part 2 of the video series. You'll also need to click on the second link, which is the download, the ETP reconciliation report link. That gives a summary of any figures that will show on your ETP payment summaries if you have any. You need to check that the ETPs that you've paid throughout the year are showing on the report. Make sure there's none that are missed. Once you have checked both those reports and you do agree with the figures, just click the checkbox to indicate that you have checked the information at steps 1, 2 and 3 and agree with them, and then click the next step button to proceed to the final step. So you need to advise us how your payment summaries will be produced and whether they're going to be produced by us, in which case you'll click yes, or whether you want to produce them manually yourself, in which case you will need to click no. If you select yes, then we'll also ask you whether you want your payment summaries to be printed and posted. So click the text, tick the text box if you do want to, click the checkbox, sorry, if you do want us to print and post the payment summaries directly to your employees, and then finalise your order by clicking the submit button. You'll know that your order has been received by ePayroll when this screen is displayed, and you can also download the reconciliation reports if you need them at that step. Finally, just to close off this part of the video, for terminated employees, we can still produce the payment summaries. They will still be able to log in and retrieve their payment summaries online. Now, some of those employees may have terminated a fair while ago, so keep in mind that their accounts may be locked or they may have forgotten their password. You may wish to reset or unlock inactive employees' accounts prior to end of financial year. That'll reduce the likelihood of terminated employees needing to contact you to give them access. To unlock their accounts, go to the Administration People screen, change the status to inactive, untick the Show Authority Only checkbox, and then click Search. The employee list will update to show the inactive employees on your account. Place a tick next to those employees whose accounts you want to unlock. Go down to the bottom of the page and there's a drop-down menu where you can select an action to apply to the selected employees in bulk. Select the action and then click the execute button. So that's all we'll cover in part 1 of the video. Have a look out for part 2 and watch that, where we'll cover some more key information.